And Python again skips these lines because else says if none of these condition met, then do this. That means if I give 10, okay, I simply give 10, I save it and I run it. See, so Python here checks if the student has got more than 70. So this is not the case because student has got 10, which is less than 70, obviously. So then the Python checks for the next condition, and the next condition is student more than 50. Student has got more than 50, so definitely not. And in AND conditions, if any one of them is false, the condition will be false. So this is false, and that means the Python interpreter doesn't have to check for this because this is already false. If one condition is false in AND statement, the whole condition becomes false. So this condition is also false, and thus the Python interpreter does not execute this. So if none of these conditions met, then it executes these, because else says if the student, if both of these conditions are not met, then execute me, and Python interpreter simply executes it. Print failed, print better than, better luck next time. That's how it works. Okay, if, elif, and else. Now I can put as much as I want elif here. Okay, if I say elif, student more than or equal to 30 and student less than 50, print you passed actually, but you need extra classes for improvement. Okay, so I can put as much condition as I want to. Okay, so the student is 10 here. So if I now execute it, I'll show you what happens. Control S, Control B. So what actually happens? See, it again said failed, better luck next time. So I guess you now know how it actually happens, but still I'll guide you. The student has got 10. So this condition is false because if student more than equal to 70. So this condition is false because 10 is not more than or equal to 70. The next condition is if the student has got 50 or more than 50. So this condition is again false because 10 is definitely less than 50. And so the Python interpreter doesn't have to check for this thing, because in AND statements, if one of the statement is false, your whole statement will be false. So this condition also not gets executed. So Python again checks for the third condition. Student more than or equal to 30. That means did the student got 30 or more than 30? So again this is false, and thus the Python interpreter will not check for this one. Okay, it will not check for this one. So this will not get executed. Finally, else says if none of these conditions match, execute me. So these two lines get printed. It's as simple as that. Okay, it's simple, right? But you have to care for these white spaces. These are very, very, very important part of Python. You know, this if block is different from this elif block. Okay, this elif block is different from this elif block, and this else block is different from elif block. How Python understands? See, if elif else, it is written in one parallelly. Okay, see, parallelly. But then things inside the blocks are written with a tab. Okay, so here is you give a white space here, and you then write things inside the block. That's how Python differentiates. Now if you say, let's give you another example. So order equals pizza. Okay, pizza, burger, momo. Okay, so let's say this is the person. The person ordered for pizza as well as burger as well as momo. So if you write code like this, if pizza in order, print take your pizza. Okay, so this actually means Python interpreter checks that this string is present in this whole string or not. It checks, and it is true because this string, that is pizza, is present over here, right? Pizza, so it is present. So in means Python interpreter will check if this string or this thing is inside this thing, this variable. So order is the variable. So Python says if the person has written pizza inside the order list, then give him the pizza. Elif okay, first let me just execute it. Okay, we'll understand it better. So if I just save it and then I execute it simply, this is what happens. So the Python interpreter checks, okay, so pizza is inside the order. See, pizza is here. That's why it is, rectangular. It looks like rectangle. Okay, so this pizza is inside this order. So Python checks, is this pizza inside order? So it's true, and thus the Python prints this line, and Python simply prints the second line, regardless of the fact that pizza is inside order or not. Okay. Now if I simply say, if I add some elif statements, pizza, yeah, sorry, burger in order, print take your burger, elif momo, okay. So this means you may think that this is, if the person has ordered pizza, give him pizza. If the person has ordered burger, give him burger. If the person has ordered momo, give him momo. But this is not the case. And I'll tell you why. Let me just execute it. You will understand yourself. See, the person has ordered three things: pizza as well as burger as well as momo. But the problem is, if Python says if with multiple elif, you know, then Python will only execute the first statement. Because the first statement is true, Python does not care about the next two, right? Does it? The Python does not care about the next two statements, right? Python doesn't care. If the first statement is true, then it executes it. That's it. It's as simple as that. It will not execute the later lines. Okay? And it will execute this line because it is not elif, it is not else, it is not if. It is just a print statement. So it will execute it. But these lines, these elif statements will not execute because the first condition is met. So why should the Python check all the other conditions? And It's a good practice to give else. Okay, so this is optional, you can give it or not, whatever. Anyways, let's just remove it. It looks ugly. So all you have to do is just remove this L. Okay, this L. Now if you see, if you execute it, see, this is what happens. The person has ordered pizza, take your pizza. The person has ordered burger, take your burger. The person has ordered momo, take your momo. See, all the lines are printed. And finally, thank you for purchasing. This is because if the Python sees if with another if and another if, it does not treat them with the the second or third condition. This is the first condition, this is also the first condition, and this is also the first condition. This is not second and this is not third. But in case of elif, in this case, Python thinks this is the first one, this is the second one, or this is the third one. So any one of them can execute successfully. Okay, any one of them. If this executes successfully, Python won't check these. If this executes successfully, Python won't check this as well as this. Okay, so in elif statements, Python will execute only one condition. But if you give multiple if statements, Python will execute all of them. It will check for everything. It checks, is pizza inside order? Okay. It again checks, is burger inside order? Okay. Is momo inside order? So it checks every single time. If you put if first condition, this is also the first condition, this is also the first condition. This is first, this is first, this is first. This is not second, this is not third. Do not make this mistake, okay? And it will execute, obviously it will execute this print statement because it is not a if, it is not a elif, it is just an independent print statement. So okay, now let's play with it. Let's play. I just give these and I control C and execute it. So take your pizza, take your burger, no momos, because in this string the person has ordered only for pizza, burger. No momos have been mentioned, so that's why no momo. Okay, and if you say okay, if you let's say donut, so donut will not execute. If I save this and I run this, thank you for purchasing. Okay, because there is no donut over here. You can either buy pizza, you can buy burger, you can buy momo, but you cannot buy donut. Sorry, the restaurant does not have donuts available, so that's why it will not give any output. Okay, but if it were like this, if it have been elif, okay, and elif and with the else statement, what do you think this will do? Invalid order, thank you for purchasing, because Python now checks again, is pizza inside order? No. Is burger inside order? No. Is momo inside order? No. So all of these conditions are not met. The first one is not met, the second one is not met, as well as the third one is again not met. So that's why it simply executes this else thing. It means if a person gives anything order other than pizza, burger or momo, it will simply execute the else statement. And finally this print statement, because it is again, it will just execute any individual independent statement. But there is one problem. If the user gives an invalid order, just like here donut, but our restaurant has only pizza or burger or momo, there is no donut. But in this case, if I just run it, it will give me only one line, thank you for purchasing. Okay, it will give me thank you for purchasing, but it will not tell that it is it is an invalid order. In the previous case, you could have done like this. You can, yeah, you can have done like this, print invalid. There was a else statement, but it was wrong because you had to choose between pizza or burger or momo. You cannot take three at one time. But in order to remove that, we had to, do this thing. We had to do this thing. But again, the problem arises, we cannot print invalid. So how can we? There is a way. If you think, you will just add an else statement over here and you say print invalid. This is not going to work. Trust me, this is not going to work because every if statement, every if statement is the first condition. This is the first one, this is the first one, this is also the first one. But this else, but for this else says, right, if none of the condition above matches, then print this. And for this else, the only condition, one and only condition is this one. Okay, it will not consider until this one. Okay, it will only check this one. So even if you order pizza and donut, sorry, pizza and burger, it will still give you invalid because you haven't purchased momo. So let me run it once. So as you can see, you have ordered pizza, you have ordered burger, but you haven't ordered momo, and that's why it has print invalid, because this else says if none of the condition above matches, then print invalid. And what is the condition above? This is the condition, because every if statement declares the starting of an conditional. This is the first statement. These two, this else statement will not look into these. Okay, it will just print invalid because you haven't ordered momo. But this is not what we want. We want that if the user has not placed order any of these, that is, the user has not asked for pizza or burger or momo, none of these, then only it will print invalid. So the solution is to do this. Okay, first, if before that, I want to introduce you to the not operator. So let me show you the in the terminal. By So this is a new thing, understand it. So there is one thing called not, and this is very important. Not can invert anything. So let's say 5 more than 6, sorry, 5 more than 2, this will give you true, right? But if I say not 5 more than 2, it will give you false. Let's say 5 more than 10, it will give me false. But if I say not 5 more than 10, it will give me true. So it basically changes true to false and false to true. Whatever it is, it will change to the other thing. It will just invert it. If it is true, it will give me false. If it is false, it will give me true. So just like that, if I implement these concepts in here, if let's say pizza in order and burger in order and momo in order. Okay, so this is the condition. If pizza in order and burger in order and momo in order, but we have to change one thing. We have to change this and we have to make it or. Okay, sorry, and to or. And why I did this? Because the reason is, in and statement, every single statement has to be true. Every single statement has to be true. That means this one, this burger in order, as well as this one. So that means a user must order all these things, okay? But if you use or, it becomes optional. If even one of these is true, it will give you true. As simple as that. If you order just pizza, it will give you true. You don't need to order this one or this burger or momo. If you select any one of these, it will give you true. Now it will, you know, print invalid. But it is wrong because you are asking the Python interpreter to check if the order has pizza or burger or momo, print invalid. So we have to invert it. We have to, somehow reverse it. So this total statement will be true and it will give me invalid. But this is not what we want, because if I say, let's say this, let's run it, okay? Let's run it. See, you have ordered pizza, you have ordered burger, but still it is invalid. Why it is invalid? Because pizza is in order, true. Burger is in order, true. Momo is not in order, false. It doesn't matter because two of it are true. If any of them is true, it is true. So this whole condition is true, and that's why it is executed. So in order to make this false, you know what to do, right? You have to give not, and you have to put this into brackets. The reason you put this in brackets is because if you do not put this in brackets, the only condition will be considered is that this one. If not pizza in order, that means if pizza is not inside order, this will become, false. Okay, so this won't work actually. You have to put brackets to make it one single condition, or else these will be, evaluated as single conditions. This is another condition. Okay, this not over here will only consider this one. It will not look after all these. But in order to make it a single condition, single joint condition, you have to tell the Python that you need to make it all true. Consider it all of it. And now you put not. That means if it is true, this not over here will make it false. So that means if your pizza, if you order pizza, burger or momo, it means this is true, and this not makes it false. That means this print will, this will not work. But let's say this is false. You haven't ordered pizza, you haven't ordered burger, you haven't ordered momo. So this is false. But this not over here will make it true. That means you haven't ordered pizza, burger or momo. So that means your order is invalid, right? If I run this, if I save it, let's save it and run it, it will directly give me take your pizza, take your burger, thank you for purchasing, finished. Okay, this won't print this line. Why it won't print? Because you have pizza as well as burger inside the order. So that means this one is true and this one is also true. So it's overall true, because any one condition is true in OR statement, it will give you true. So it is true, and this not statement makes the true statement false. So that's why it is not invalid. This is not printed. But let's say you put donut. Let's say you put donut. Save it and run it. Sorry. See, it will directly give you invalid, because you haven't purchased pizza, you haven't purchased burger, you haven't purchased momo. Okay, so this will give you invalid. So that's how not statement works. Not gives you false for true and true for false. It will just invert it. Okay. So I hope you all of you remember these things. These these are very small things. These operators are very important. Not, or, and. Okay, these are very important. So let's have a quick recap. One and one. One. Sorry. True and true. True. False and true. False. True and false. False. False and false. False. This was the and. Okay, sorry. And this is or. True or true. It will give you true. False or true. It will give you true. True or false. It will give you true. False or false. It will give you false. So these are the basic operations, and we can simply negate it using true or true. Let's place not here. So it would have given us true, but now this will give us okay. Okay, this actually not works. We'll just put this in brackets so as to make it in one condition. See, this is why you need these brackets. Okay, you need these brackets because otherwise it will consider only this thing. It won't care about this one. Okay, it won't care about this one because in this case, not true, that means false, or true. So any one is true, that means true. But here, true or true, this means true, and this not makes it false. That's why you get false. So that's how it works. Now we will look into nested loops. Nested conditions. That means, okay, let me show my face once. So now we are going to look into nested conditions. And what are nested conditions? Nested condition means combined things. Okay, so let's say you ordered a pizza, so it will give you pizza, but before that it will ask you how many pizzas. If you say 5 pizzas, sorry, if you say more than one, then it will give you. If you say 0, it will give you error, because or let's say there is a thing. If you buy more than 10 pizzas, it will give you 10% discount, right? If you buy less than 5, it will give you 2% discount. If you order 0, you get nothing. Okay, like that. So we will come into the details. So I'll implement it directly. This is what happens. You go into the shop and you tell the shopkeeper to give you some product. The shopkeeper tells you if you take this at this quantity, you will get a discount. So it will check for discount. Okay, so let's code it out. You will understand it better. So let's say you are actually let's remove this for the complex to in order to remove for the complexity. Just remove this. Okay, pizza. Okay, and now remove this also. We will take input from the user directly. Okay, so if I just take input from the user, order equals input, now we will ask for quantity. We'll just remove it. We'll put another if inside it. If, okay, let's ask for quantity. Sorry, okay, let's keep it simple. Number, and we will need this everywhere. So number equals to int because we will take full, okay, we don't take decimals. Input. So we will just copy and paste it out. We'll see. Okay. Okay. So every time you said pizza, so it will ask you for how many pizza. Okay. Now, if number more than 5, sorry. So I'll just copy it. We'll see. And we'll paste it. We'll just change it. Okay. I'm explaining. Just give me a moment. So let me just change it. Okay. Discount for. So what this is actually doing? Let's look into it in a greater detail. So the user will input what they actually want. Let's say the user wants pizza. Let's say the user wants pizza. Okay. So this condition will be true. The pizza that means pizza is in order. Okay. So this is true. Now it will ask for how many pizza do you want? How many pizza do you want? Okay. So if the user enters 6 or 7, okay, so that means this condition will all be true. Number more than 5, that means the user wants more than 5 pizzas, so that means this will get printed. You get 10% discount for pizza, and then this line will get printed, take your pizza. But let's say this condition is false. Let's say the user wants only 2 pizzas, so this line will not get printed. He won't get any discount, but he will surely get the pizza. Okay, take your pizza. So this is what happens. Okay, because there is only one statement, there is only one single if statement. You have told what to do if the user buys more than 5 pizzas, but you haven't told what to do if the user doesn't buy 5 pizzas. You have simply told the computer to give 10% discount if the user buys more than 5 pizzas, and then give them pizza whether or not he buys more than 5 pizzas or not. Okay, so even if he buys one pizza or even two pizza, you will have to print this one, print your take your pizza. Okay, so this same goes for the other things. Okay, like for example here, if let's say the user entered burger, so the burger is in order, so this is true. Again, it asks for how many burger. Let's say the user enters 10, so first this will print. Okay, I guess you have to just indent it, okay, inside, otherwise it will give you an error. So if this condition is true, that means if the user buys, let's say 10 burgers, so this condition is true, that means this will print, you will get 10% discount for burger, right? And there's something wrong out here. Okay, okay, that's fine. Now then you can get your burger. Now again, if the user has entered momo in order, that means this condition is true. Again it asks for how many momos do you want. Let's say the user wants 2 momos only, so this condition will not be true. So that means this print statement will be, false. This will not get executed, but this will get executed because you will have to take the momo. So let's see it for ourselves. Now I'll show you how to actually run the program inside terminal, and this is very important.